Does your lake, reservoir, or pond suffer from smelly green water or pond scum? If so, or if you want to prevent this from happening, you need to watch this important 3-minute message introducing the Solar Bee, an innovative, chemical-free solution for restoring your lake. When excessive nitrogen and phosphorus inputs promote blue-green algae blooms, the water quality in your lake, reservoir, or pond can become so unhealthy it affects your community's quality of life. Harmful blue-green algae blooms cause a variety of problems, including bad-tasting drinking water, property values to plummet, even closure of affected areas, and, because blue-green algae contains toxins, they often reduce biodiversity in the lake. If you do nothing, the problems will only get worse. Chemical herbicides, alum applications, diffused air bubblers, and fountains provide little relief, and they will never permanently solve your water quality issues, and the expenses are never ending. With the long-term effects of chemicals in waters used for drinking and recreation still unknown, the question remains, is there a natural chemical-free solution for eliminating blue-green algae blooms while restoring your lake's ecosystem? With a Solar Bee reservoir circulator, the answer is yes. The Solar Bee combats blue-green algae blooms naturally. The way it works is simple. Using only solar power, the Solar Bee circulates the upper portion of the lake, physically disrupting the blue-green's preferred habitat of warm, stagnant waters. Nutrients now go into beneficial, edible algae, which are then eaten by zooplankton and fish, increasing the diversity of aquatic life. The elimination of toxic blue-green algae blooms, together with improved oxygen content, better water clarity, and a more vigorous fishery, recreates a healthy lake ecosystem. Solar Bee is effective, so the potential benefits to the counties, cities, and residents living near affected waters are significant. As your lake, reservoir, or pond returns to a natural, healthier condition, the improved water quality will be more appealing for recreation and safer for consumption. A more attractive lake will stabilize or even increase property values. Solar Bees are durable, unobtrusive, easy to install, and designed to perform for decades with minimal maintenance. And we manufacture the Solar Bee in various sizes to meet the needs of water bodies from 1 to thousands of acres in size. What's more, the return on investment for the Solar Bee is impressive. Though the upfront cost is a little more, the long-term savings is dramatic. We eliminate the expense and need for chemicals or land-based energy sources, making the Solar Bee the most cost-effective and sustainable long-term solution available to lake managers. The Solar Bee has created quite a stir throughout North America, and our extensive list of satisfied clients testifies to the true effectiveness of the Solar Bee. If you're looking for a sustainable, environmentally friendly solution to restore your lake or reservoir, you need the Solar Bee, creating quality water naturally. In this brief message, we can only highlight the benefits Solar Bees provide. If you'd like to learn more about Solar Bees, click here to be contacted by a representative. Many communities are unaware of the Solar Bee solution.
Well, if you enjoyed boating or fishing, you may have come across solar panels floating in the middle of a lake or reservoir. The technology is used on more lakes and reservoirs in Northern California than any place else in the world. Richard Hart reports on the drive to discover new ways to keep water clean by using the power of the sun.
Actually, the first weekend that they were installed, someone called and they thought there was a car had driven into the lake and was floating on the top.
The lake is Stafford Lake, north of Novato. What looks like a floating car is a floating water pump called a Solar Bee. Powered by the sun, one of 5 on the lake. Their job is to keep algae from blooming. A bloom occurs when a temperature change drives nutrient-rich water from the bottom of a lake to the top. If you churn the water just a little all the time, the bloom doesn't stand a chance. That's what the Solar Bee does, using a sun-powered motor to draw water up.
There's bad algae and there's good algae. Unfortunately, some chemical treatment programs affect both. And an electric compressor to churn the water can cost tens of thousands of dollars a year in electricity. The benefit of this system is it actually helps the good algae.
All of this makes it easier to treat the water in the nearby plant. And what comes out of the tap tastes better.
Some of the algae can give an off taste to the water. Some of these compounds we can't actually remove very well, and they'll get past some of our filtration. So we can start the treatment right inside the lake before it even gets into the treatment plant.
More communities in Northern California are using solar bees than anywhere else, not just outdoors, but inside giant water tanks. That's why the largest drinking water installation in the world is invisible. San Francisco uses solar bees deep inside giant basins like these to better mix chloramine that disinfects 300 million gallons of water. Only the solar panels on top give them away. In nearby Santa Clara, solar pumps are used to keep mercury from going into solution. But here in Marin County, mixing your drinks with solar power remains a matter of taste. With the next step in water quality, Richard Hart, ABC 7 News.
The fishermen taking it easy on Lake Houston might never guess what's out there on the water. Only by boat can you see it. Check it out. It looks like a spaceship has crashed in Lake Houston.
This is a very unique approach.
That thing in the lake is called a solar bee, and it's helping clean up Houston's drinking water. About 20% of Houston's water supply comes from Lake Houston. About 2 years ago, people started complaining about the taste of water coming from this area. So Houston got 20 of these. Beneath the solar panels, under the waves, there's a big fan that basically stirs the water.
Well, we're using solar power to charge a battery, which is then generating electricity to turn a motor. The motor is lifting water from the bottom of the lake, bringing it up to the top, and distributing it across the top of the water.
In other words, these gizmos circulate water, helping keep it fresh, preventing the formation of algae.
This is a real-time water quality monitoring station.
And they know it works because the data gathered at these monitoring stations indicates the water is cleaner, and nobody's complaining about the taste.
It will make the treatment of the water easier and make the water more palatable for the people to enjoy and to drink.
The water's so much cleaner, the city government says it saved about $500,000 in the last year. Taxpayer money that would have been spent on chemicals cleaning up the water. The water that's so important to all of us, especially the fishermen. At Lake Houston, Doug Miller, 11 News.